The album of the year has officially dropped today. So before you watch this, listen to the entire album, start to finish, and then come back so we can talk about the album. So the Hit Me Hard and Soft album is for sure my favorite album that Billie has come out with, and all her albums are great, but this one in particular, I love it the most because of how experimental it is and how different it is, and it satisfies every single inch of my brain. I feel like she hit like every single song that I wanted to hear from her, like a ballad, a like revenge ballad, a rock, pop, disco. Like it has like so much in this one album in 10 songs. I got the signed version of the vinyl, so isn't that crazy? Can you believe that she touched this? She signed this? So this is really cool. I'm very happy that I was able to snatch that. Okay, back to the actual album itself. So I'm gonna go through the entire album telling you my interpretation of it. I don't know if it's completely right. This is just what I understood for each of the songs. So starting with the first track, which is Skinny. This song, starting the album, like you're already gonna start crying. Like I cried the first time I listened to the song. So it is for sure like a tearjerker because first of all, it's a ballad. It's so beautifully written. The sound, the instruments, everything is so beautiful. And the message behind it, what I got, is just being robbed of happiness. This song is like talking to her younger self, being like, I still love you, like you're perfect and amazing how you were even before, like you were skinny and pretty or whatever. I feel like the song is just talking about her past or like to her younger self, and it's just like such a beautiful song. Like it's heartbreaking but so beautiful at the same time. Okay, transitioning to the second track, which is Lunch. I think we all know this song. It's literally such a fun song. Like it's such a bop, and this is for sure like the song that everybody is gonna replay over and over and over. And in case you don't know, in case it wasn't very obvious, it's literally about her eating out a girl. I feel like it's so fun to listen to, even though I don't necessarily enjoy like very sexual songs, like over sexualized songs. This song is just so fun. It's so groovy, it's so upbeat. And something else that I really love, like it's an overall theme about this album and like with this song too, is that I feel like there's so much fun that they had like making this album. Like it feels so freeing, like authentic too, because she's able to like explore her sexuality with like these songs and stuff, and it's just such like an authentic, freeing album. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the feeling I get when I listen to like the entire album. And then instruments wise, obviously it's so catchy, upbeat, groovy. Like you just want to jump around and dance and just sing it and just be so freeing. Like this is such a fun like upbeat song. It's so good. Okay, moving to the third track on the album here, CHIHIRO, I think that's how you pronounce it. So this is one of those songs that it brings you right back down, and it feels like a roller coaster of emotions. It's definitely, I feel, one of those heartbreak songs again, because this feels, I'm not really like entirely sure of like the specific meaning of the song, but what I do get from it is kind of like a heartbreak song and wanting somebody back and them not loving you anymore, and you just don't recognize who they are anymore. That's kind of like the meaning of what I get behind it. So upon further research, apparently CHIHIRO is from this movie called Spirited Away. I personally have never seen it, so I don't know what it's about, but just to keep that in mind. And then the instruments just play so well into this of like the roller coaster of emotions, and then also at the end it feels like a desperation of like, why don't you love me, like why can't I recognize you? That's kind of like the vibe that I get from the song. And it's also another one of those super catchy songs, is the Open the Door one. But I feel like the instruments just tie everything so well together, being like the roller coaster of emotions, but also being like that desperation and heartbreak of not recognizing somebody that fell out of love with you. I think that's what it means, but that's my interpretation of it. Okay, moving to the fourth track, which is Birds of a Feather. Oh, this song is so beautiful. This is by far my #1 track on this album. This song is a love song. It's so beautiful, and when I was listening to it, it just makes you feel so good. Like it just feels like a hug when you're listening to the song. I don't know if that like, that's just how I feel when I listen to the song. I don't know if that relates to you as well, but it's just kind of like a love song of loving somebody forever, just professing of love type of thing. And I absolutely love love songs, and this just feels so beautiful. And I love the feeling of her just having like that will to love and be with that person like forever. So that's just kind of like the meaning that I get behind it. But everything, the instruments and the belt, oh my god, like literally this song, like listen to the song and tell me that she can't sing. Like her vocals are insane. It's so beautiful and it just brings like the intensity of love. Like it's so amazing. Okay, moving to track number 5, which is Wildflower. This is another sad song, but I love this song because of the story that you can really envision while you're listening to it. Basically, the story that I get from it is that Billie had a friend who was with a guy, I think, and the guy broke the friend's heart, and then, you know, Billie was there for that friend, just comforting her, going through that heartbreak and that pain and everything, and then Billie ends up with that guy or that person, and it's just like, I can't see anything except for that memory that's ingrained in my head of the pain that you made this girl go through. And then she's like, do you see the memory in my eyes when you look at me of what you did to my friend? Does that make sense? So after looking on the internet, this song is about this girl named Devin in the picture right here. She owns this company called Wildflower Cases, and basically Devin was dating Jesse Rutherford from the neighborhood for like 6-7 years. They were like the it couple, then they broke up, she was heartbroken, and then Jesse ends up dating Billie. They were together, then they broke up, and then Billie and Devin ended up being besties, so this song is dedicated to her, hence the name Wildflower. But yeah, I feel like this is also like a heavy song because I feel, I could be wrong, but it has like a hint of abuse as well. I think that the harmonization is also like a huge factor into this song that really brings the vibe of sadness into the song. So shifting to track number 6, which is The Greatest. So this one feels like a love song to herself. Not necessarily love song like professing love, but it's more of like appreciation for herself. And the title says it itself, like she is the greatest. And I feel like she really emphasizes how strong and amazing of a person she is and really appreciating the person that she is like on the inside. And then something that I get from the song is kind of like an internal monologue of her being like, man, I'm so good. Like, why can't somebody appreciate me and how great I am? Like, I feel like I get that vibe a little bit too. And then it starts building up, and then the bridge and the belt, I feel like it really reminds me of Happier Than Ever, like when it starts off super slow and gentle like in the beginning, and then it builds up and has like that climax, and then it just goes to pure rock and just fun. That's kind of like the vibe that I get with this song. But yeah, she pretty much is just saying like, you missed out on a great opportunity and how great I am, Billie. People are speculating that once again this is about Jesse and how he pretty much fumbled the bag with her and just did not appreciate her and took her for granted. So she's pretty much talking about that here. Track number 7, which is L'amour de la vie, which pretty much is the love of my life, and this is a revenge ballad, and this is one of my top ones as well, and I love this song. You can't really like predict where the song is going, which I love so much. Like the beginning is so catchy and just so groovy and so smooth, and then it starts building up and then it just calms down, and then it goes to like disco club party like vibe. Like it's just everywhere, but so good. Like it's one of the most unexpected tracks on this album. This song for sure, like I said, it's a revenge ballad, so it's basically her being like, you did me so wrong to her ex, and like I was so good to you, and then the story is just kind of like, go find your new love, like I lied to you saying that I was in love with you, just, you know, shitting on her ex pretty much. And that's just kind of like the first part, and then the second part where it like picks up and it's just kind of like a party. It's just celebrating that her ex is gone and it's over now, and I'm so great, like I'm so happy. Like that's everything that I get from this song, and it's just such a celebratory, like exciting, fun, jumping around song. Okay, track number 8, which is The Diner. Oh, this song is, a lot of people don't like this song for some reason, and I love it. Like it gives me like stalker obsessive vibes, and I saw some people being like it was like Stockholm syndrome or like Stockholm vibes, and I have to agree, because this song, I don't know if it's her point of view of stalking somebody or if that's the story of what happened to her, I don't know, but regardless, like this song is so catchy and so fun. But it's basically just being obsessed and hung over somebody that you're literally stalking them, breaking into their house, leaving letters. It's just such a crazy song, but it's so much fun. And then at the end, she mentions like the number, which is like the text number that you text or you call, and it's just like one of those set programmed numbers that pretends to be Billie, but it's just kind of like correlated. I don't know exactly how it works, but it was like a cute little touch that they added to like the album to make it like connecting with like the fan and Billie, if that makes sense. Okay, so track number 9, which is Bittersweet. This one honestly is not my favorite. Like this is probably like at the bottom of my list, only because like the instruments and the sounds itself, it doesn't really click with me. And also I don't really understand the message behind the song. I feel like a lot of it has to do with wanting to fall in love but you can't, and having like that drowning feeling of not being able to get what you want. Everything is a dream and not reality, and it feels like that's kind of like the message behind the song. I like the change in tempo in terms of it being like weird in the beginning and then it sounds like it's drowning. I like the second half of Bittersweet, not so much the first. But I feel like it could also tie into having like a secret, like forbidden lover type of thing. But I don't really know. But I really do love the transition from Bittersweet to the last track, and the last track being Blue. So this song is very sentimental to many of us who know True Blue, and it's obviously like revamped. It's not the same exact song, but what I love about Blue is that it's a combination of all the songs that she pretty much mentions, and it being blue, like being sad and ending off the album sad. And the violin in the song just really brings like the sadness feeling that you get with this entire song. And the story that we kind of get like in the second half is like the heartbreak of seeing somebody born in such a cruel like situation, like not having good parents and just being brought up with like trauma. And then I get the vibe of her like feeling so heartbroken and so sad for that friend because she can't help them. Like they're literally in that situation, like you're trying to help them and to love them, but you're not what they need, and it's just such like a defeating feeling. So I feel like with the song is just accepting that defeat of not being able to help, and with that comes the feeling of just being so sad, so hence feeling blue. But I feel like it's just such a perfect way to end the album and to really tie in the colors of the album. Obviously the album is blue, so I feel like it really ties everything together and just really illustrates the album itself. Blue just wraps everything so perfectly. But anyways, overall, this album was an absolute masterpiece and such a joy to listen to. Like it just hit me hard and soft. Like exactly the title of the album is exactly how I felt. Like I feel like I was just thrown everywhere, going up and down with the album like in a roller coaster. And with that, that ends the album of the year review. So those are like all of my interpretation of the song. So let me know down below what was your favorite track on this album. And like I said, if you for some reason have not listened to this album, listen to it start to finish in order, and you'll really see like the story and like how everything connects so beautifully. But anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed this, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video.